All right, so you know the situation perfectly. You've got one cable box, maybe a PS5, but you want that image on the TV in the living room and on the projector out on the patio.
It's the classic dual screen dilemma. You want one source to be in two places at once.
And the gut instinct is always to just, hop online, find the cheapest little Y splitter cable you can, you plug it in, you expect magic, and instead you get...
Flickering snow.
Yeah.
Or just a black screen. Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Yeah. That's because HDMI isn't just a wire carrying a picture, it's a digital handshake. You can't just physically split the copper like you're splicing old headphones. You need an active device.
Which brings us right to today's deep dive. We are looking at a piece of hardware that claims to solve this whole headache for like $25. It's the WolfPack 1:2 HDMI splitter with Pigtail.
The HDMI 1.4a model specifically.
And our mission is pretty straightforward. How does a gadget the size of a deck of cards manage to handle high-end audio and video protocols that usually require a bulky, much more expensive switcher? Well, it really starts with the form factor. You mentioned the size. It's officially described as a pocket splitter. We're talking 110 by 75 millimeters.
So it's tiny. But the standout feature, the thing in the specs, is the pigtail.
Yeah.
Now, usually when I hear pigtail in tech, I think of messy wiring. But here, it's a deliberate design choice.
Oh, it's a massive convenience factor. Most splitters are just boxes with ports. That means you need 3 HDMI cables, 1 from your source to the box, and then 2 out to your screens.
Which adds cost and just more clutter behind the TV stand.
It does. The WolfPack has a flexible 0.2-meter HDMI cable hardwired right into the input side. So you just plug the unit directly into the back of your Xbox or Blu-ray player.
So it just hangs right off the source device. It actually removes a connection point.
Right, meaning one less point of failure and you don't have to go out and buy that third cable. It's pragmatic.
Convenience is great, but let's get technical. A splitter is useless if it degrades the signal. We've got data here saying this supports HDMI 1.4a and something called signal retiming. Break that down for us.
This is the real aha moment for this device. See, a passive splitter just copies the electricity and hopes for the best. This device reclocks it.
Reclocks it.
It takes the incoming digital pulses, which might be a little messy or weak coming out of your console, and it actively regenerates them before sending them to both screens.
Okay, so it's like a traffic cop, making sure the timing is perfect before the cars move.
That's a great way to put it. That active processing is what prevents that sinking flicker that people hate. And because of that stability, it can handle deep color. We're talking up to 36-bit.
And that's more than just brighter colors, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's all about gradients. If you've ever watched a sunset in a movie and you see those ugly bands of color instead of a smooth fade, you're probably looking at 8-bit color limitations. This device passes the full 36-bit data through, so the image stays smooth.
And since it's HDMI 1.4a, I assume 3D is on the table?
Fully supported, along with HDCP 1.2 compliance, so your Netflix or Blu-rays won't lock you out due to copyright protection errors.
Okay, now I want to challenge the audio specs. Because usually cheap splitters force you to the lowest common denominator stereo. If I have a surround sound system on one TV, does this choke the audio?
Surprisingly, no. The specs list full support for DTS HD, Dolby True HD, and even DSD.
DSD, really? That's strictly audiophile territory.
It is direct stream digital. It means if output A goes to a simple TV and output B goes to a high-end receiver, that receiver still gets the full, uncompressed surround sound data. It doesn't downmix.
That is incredibly robust for this price point.
Okay.
But the feature that really caught my eye in the documentation, and this is where I feel like we go from home user to pro user, is cascading.
This is where it gets really fun.
They claim you can stack them 10 layers deep.
You can. You can plug a splitter into another splitter and then another one into that one. It's daisy chaining.
So if I'm running a sports bar or maybe a trade show booth, I'm not limited to 2 screens. I could theoretically have a whole wall of monitors all fed from one single cable box. You could. The documentation explicitly notes you can maintain a full HD 1080p chain even past 4 layers. It saves you from buying a commercial distribution amp that would cost you 10 times as much.
It's a lot of utility in a very small package. You get the pigtail for less clutter, the active retiming for stability, and then you can daisy chain for scale.
It's just a really smart piece of engineering.
But before we wrap up, I have to bring up the one number that made me pause. The data transfer speed is capped at 6.75 gigabits per second.
Which is standard for 1080p. That's fine.
Sure. But if you actually took them up on that 10-layer challenge, and you're pushing a heavy 3D signal through 10 different active reclocking chips, one after another.
You're wondering about latency.
I am. I'm just wondering how many screens you could actually daisy chain before that 6.75 Gbps limit creates a visible, noticeable lag between the very first TV and the very last one in the chain.
An interesting latency experiment for the brave, for sure. It's definitely something to chew on.
And that's it for this deep dive on the WolfPack splitter. Thanks for listening.